Hello. What now, Indutro? Status only? What challenge are you doing this time? As the title reads, this will be a status only challenge, where I'll be attempting an Omega Ruby Hardcore Nuzlocke with only the 3 starters of the game, Trico, Torchic, and Mudkip. Here, I would hopefully be able to answer the question, just how good are the starters in the mainline games? Now you might be asking, how would I get all the 3 starters in the game without finishing the Elite 4? Well, I thought I would mix in the other 2 starters by slotting them as a 2-gift Pokémon we get later on in the game. One in Sleepboard Contest Hall, and one at the Lava Ridge Hot Springs. This way, I would still have to progress a fair deal through the game first before getting the next team members. Let's get the rules over with. Number 1. Any Pokémon that faints must be permaboxed. Number 2. We have no encounters due to the theme. We have to progress with the game to get the next Pokémon. Number 3. No items during battles. Number 4. No over-leveling. Number 5. Set battle mode. And number 6. For once, we're allowing Mega Evolutions. At the time of writing the script, I have just hit 10,000 subs. Many thanks to all that stuck around and kept watching my videos. You mean the world to this channel. Without all of you guys watching, this channel would have probably died a long time ago. With that said, for those of you who haven't subbed, consider joining the family. We have a pretty good time here. It's customary to leave a roast on the comment section. Here we go again. The chunky fella over there is Professor Birch, and our name is Fool. We start the game at the back of a very cozy moving truck, and we saw sunlight for the first time in about 5 years. We met this lady who turned out to be our mother, and set our clock by pressing A on it. After introducing ourselves to our neighbor, we watched the rather chunky professor being chased by a Poochyena for a while, before finally deciding to help out. We picked up Mudkip and drowned a Poochyena to death. After being invited to the lab, we named the Mudkip Best Boy. We beat May in a Pokemon battle, and watched Wally catch a Pokemon. Wally's still not our friend, nor is he our rival. Let's just get that straight. We super trained Best Boy, and continued on. Getting through early game is pretty straightforward, as the only difficult part here is to not overlevel Best Boy before the gym fight. We avoided trainer battles when we can, and generally just went on with the game. We challenged Roxanne at level 13, because the overleveling problem extended past the first gym and into the second, where the cap is only level 16. Beating Roxanne with the Mudkip is pretty easy, as spamming water guns usually get the job done, and that was precisely the case in this run. We got the first badge, and evaded more trainers while helping out Mr. Briny and the Devon Scientist. As a sign of gratitude for saving Pico, Mr. Briny took us to Dewford, where we leveled Best Boy during the gym trainer battles. He reached level 16 and evolved into a Marshtomp. Best Boy ended up being too tanky for Brawly as well, as he cycled between water guns and tackles in the second gym fight. Brawly's Makuhita did knock off Best Boy's Oranberry, which made me a bit nervous. Other than that, pretty okay start to the run. We got 2 badges without much trouble, and now it was time to meet Steven. We met Steven in Granite Cave, where he was admiring some cave paintings that totally foreshadowed the whole game. Totally. In its entirety. Steven thanked us for the letter, and left us alone in the cave. Mr. Briny took us under his care once more, and we safely made it to Slateboard, after avoiding more trainer battles. We couldn't trigger the gift Pokemon without battling Team Magma over at the museum first, so we mingled with Captain Stern and fended off 2 Magma Grunts who actually almost took out Best Boy. Having only 1 Pokemon was really starting to become more of a problem. Thankfully, with Team Magma chased out of the city, we were scouted by Lesia to be some kind of up-and-coming contest star. We actually have to complete 1 contest before the gift Pokemon, so we entered the tough contest and somehow won. Granted, our opponents were a Makuhita, an Aron, and a Seedot, but still, tough win. This breeder right here was supposed to give us a cosplay Pikachu. This is a weird Pikachu, man. We EV trained Flame Boy and grinded for levels, evolving him into a Combuskin. Before I started the run, I didn't really think twice about putting in a Torchic instead of a Trico in place of the cosplay Pikachu. I didn't realize it made the second rival battle a bit easier. Best Boy was able to deal with May's Slugma quite easily, then May sent out her Grovyle, who Flame Boy 2-shot it with Embers. May's Whalmer came out last, and I sent Best Boy back out, who got trapped with Whirlpool. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was going to lose Best Boy here. The Whalmer put up a really good fight, but ultimately Best Boy won it with a tackle. This was too close. May congratulated us and told us to get better, even though we just kicked her ass. We avoided even more trainers on the way to Mauville, and battled Wally for an easy victory. Still not our rival, not even our friend. Just a speck of dust in this universe. We were able to avoid overleveling before Watson, and challenge the 3rd gym. Not much to say here, really. Best Boy had the type advantage, so his ground moves really sealed the deal. We got the badge, and proceeded to wander about Hoenn. I regretted teaching Flame Boy Cut, and was in desperate need of an HM Pokemon. we caught a zigzagoon west of Mauville and named it HM Peasant. Traversing from Fiery Path until Meteor Falls had never been harder, as it was of utmost importance that we avoid as many trainers as we could on the way there. It was so easy to exceed the level cap, and we only have 2 Pokemon on our team. Losing one option due to overleveling was the last thing I wanted. At Meteor Falls, we teamed up with May in a double battle against a Magma Grunt and Tabitha. Best Boy pulled off a super high IQ move as he dug underground, letting the coffin kill everything. In reality, I was just super lucky. May wasn't though, as she lost her Slugma. Professor Cosmo took the brunt of the incident, and we went back with May to Mauville. At Mount Chimney, we beat Admin Tabitha again with Best Boy, and challenged Maxie for the first time in this run. He led his Mightyena, so I led Flameboy. Flameboy used 2 double kicks to take out the Mightyena, then Maxie sent out his camera up next. I switched to Best Boy, who tanked a substantial earth power damage. I decided to use Dig and evaded the earth power. Looking back, I should have used Water Gun, but I got away unpunished as the camera up used Amnesia. One bulldoze later, the camera up was taken care of. Maxie sent out his Golbat last, and Best Boy was afflicted with confusion. He fought through the confusion and used Rock Tomb, almost killing the Golbat. Best Boy went first and snapped out of his confusion and ended the poison bat. That's right, Maxie. Get wrecked. We were able to get by the Jagged Pass without any trainer battles, and we talked to the old lady in front of the hot springs to get our next team member. Unfortunately, it was still an egg. I couldn't figure out how to change this, so we just went ahead and ran around to hatch it. About 2,000 years later, the egg finally hatched into a Trico, who we named Fast Boy. We super trained Fast Boy and leveled him until he evolved into a Grovyle. With Best Boy in our team, Flannery has never been easier. Best Boy took out the Slugma and Numel with water guns, and the Torkoal with 2 bulldozes. I really thought I would have more trouble at this gym, but I guess luck was with the Best Boy. We got the 4th badge and rejected May's offer to go together to Petalburg. Then, it was time to face our father Norman in battle. For this battle, I led with Flameboy, equipped with a Chesto Berry in case the Slacking goes for a yawn. Flameboy used Bulk Up in the first turn, and the Slacking went for a yawn indeed. Flameboy shrugged the sleepiness off and used another Bulk Up in the truant turn. Next, Flameboy used Power Up Punch, taking the Slacking's health to yellow. The Slacking then hit back with Retaliate, but it was far from enough. With Flameboy continually boosting his attacks, the battle got progressively easier. Flameboy ended the first Slacking, one-shotted the Vigoroth, and annihilated the last Slacking as well. We secured the 5th badge from our own father. Get good, Dad. With the Surf HM, we were able to cross the tiniest of water east of Mauville. Across the pond, we had the mandatory Latios fiasco with Steven, which was taken care of rather quickly. We beat Courtney and her Grunt and obtained a Latios, which was perfect because we needed a Fly Slave. The Latios was named Fly Peasant. He would serve us well in this run. We tried our best to avoid more trainer battles on our way to Fortree, saving time in the run as well. At the Weather Institute, Tabitha's camera up was easily taken care of by Best Boy. The staff at the Institute insisted on giving us the cast form, so we took her and named her Weather Peasant. The next May battle was a breeze because of our 3 starters, playing around the rock paper scissors type concept. Best Boy defeated May's Slugma, Flameboy took care of her Grovyle, and Fast Boy ended May's Whalmer, all in a day's work. Steven pushed his Devanscope on us and gave us a Swampert. Unfortunately, we couldn't use it until we finished Winona's gym because of the level cap. In order to beat Winona, the only strategy I could come up with was to bombard her Pokemon with Rock-type attacks. To boost the Rock-type attacks, we headed to the Slateport Market and bought a couple of Rock Incenses, just to be safe. Then, we went up to face Winona. I was quite scared going into this battle, since during my practice runs, RNG could play a big role in this battle, notably with the Swallows double teams. Anyway, I sent in Flameboy and set up 2 Bulk Ups and tried for a Rock Tomb. Flameboy tanked an Aerial Ace, and thankfully hit his Rock Tomb on the first try. Winona sent out her Altaria to counter Flameboy, but one Rock Tomb took it out. Her Pelipper was next, but got taken down with more Rock Tomb, despite protecting itself on the first turn. Last was the Skarmory, which Flameboy had to submit by repeatedly using Flame Charges. I was quite surprised the battle went this smooth actually. The 6th badge was ours, and Flameboy attained his final form, a Blaziken. We spent a good chunk of time next grinding and leveling, resulting in Best Boy evolving into a Swampert, and Fast Boy evolving into a Sceptile. Truly a fast boy indeed. Over at Lily Cove, we doubted May's Pokemon trainer skills, and she challenged us to prove us wrong. She sent out her Swallow first, and we used Mega Evolution for the first time ever in this game. Best Boy Mega evolved and took out the Swallow with a Rock Slide. Eventually, after almost dying. This Swallow was an absolute ass, man. Double team should be illegal. Her Wailord was next, so I switched to Fast Boy, who tanked a Brine on the switch. Fast Boy used Leaf Blade and one-shot at the Wailord. Next was Maze McCargo, and I switched back to Best Boy, who tanked a Rock Slide. It barely did more than a tickle, and Best Boy drowned a Flame Snail. When May's Sceptile was out, Flame Boy used a Blaze Kick and ended the Sceptile's life. May thought we got strong because of her, but she could not be more wrong. We got strong because we hate Wally. Magma admin Courtney managed to find herself in battle with us again at the top of Mount Pyre, where her camera up died for absolutely nothing. Team Magma took the red orb, so the old couple gave us the blue one, because they thought a 10-year-old can solve a major regional terrorism crisis. Great going, guys. This was definitely too much pressure on our shoulders, even bordering on child abuse. The submarine got snatched over at Slateport, prompting a really desperate Captain Stern to beg us to take it back. Really? We're still just 10 years old. We abused some dogs at the Magma hideout and beat Courtney again. She never learned. But we were too late, as we could only watch the submarine speed away. The gym fight with the twins was definitely a walk in the park with a combination of Best and Fast Boy. Fast Boy took out the Soul Rock with a Leaf Blade on the first turn, while Best Boy's Surf damage got negated by a light screen. On the second turn, Fast Boy killed the Lunatone with a Leaf Blade as well. For two Psychic kids, they're a bit behind in terms of battling skills. Steven spotted us in the crowd amidst a regional disaster and pulled us to his house. He gave us a Dive HM and a scuba gear to go along with it. He asked us to end the Magma threat and to save Hoenn. Isn't he the champion? Isn't saving Hoenn a part of his job description? So, we took it upon ourselves to go to the seafloor cavern to stop Maxie, since no one else wanted to do it. Maxie led his Mighty Anna, which got swiftly disposed of by Flame Boy's Brick Break. His Weezing was next, and Flame Boy set up a bulk up while tanking double hits. After two bulk ups, one Blaze Kick ended the Weezing's life. Next was Maxie's Crobat, which got taken out by a Blaze Kick as well. Maxie sent out his camera up last, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I switched to Best Boy, who got yawned on by a Mega Camerupt. Best Boy Mega evolved himself and one-shotted the Camerupt with a Surf. Maxie didn't really care that he lost and awakened Groudon anyway. Long story short, the Groudon was a little bit too hot for Hoenn, and the whole region couldn't take how sexy he was. Steven flew by at the last second just to tell us that the answer lies in the Cave of Origin. We flew back to Sutopolis and met this fine specimen of a human being, Wallace. Everyone depended on us to solve this problem, while all we really wanted to do was to go home and snack on some Rice Krispies. We went deep into the Cave of Origin, put on the snazzy looking magma suit, and we got carried by Groudon into this crystal cave. Right, so this Groudon fight, right? I wasn't really paying attention as I was playing. I just assumed everything would be alright after Best Boy Mega evolved, thinking the Earthquakes would do its job. So, as I was watching the UFC, I was just spamming A while on fast forward, completely oblivious to the fact that Best Boy almost died. He survived with 2 HP left, and you can pretty much guess what my reaction was when I looked back at my monitor. But hey, no harm no foul, I guess. The Groudon is dead, and everyone was quite sentimental and reflective. May was being especially gooey, but she friend-zoned us earlier, so be gone, thought. We visited the Stone Master on Route 114 after the ancient Pokémon battle and bought the Sceptilite and Blazikenite. Now, we're all ready to go with the Mega Starter team. Wallace. Even though he belonged to a supreme subspecies of the Homo sapiens, he sucked pretty bad at battling. Fast Boy was sent out and pretty much one-shotted everyone while in his Mega Evolved form. We got our final badge, and now we're ready to challenge the Pokémon League. After mopping up some minor shopping, we headed into the Victory Road, where we tried to avoid as many trainers as possible again. We arrived at the flower clearing, where Wally was waiting to ambush us. Can't avoid this one, I guess. Wally. Not our friend, not our rival. Just a speck of dust in this universe. As are we, I suppose, but we're a slightly better speck of dust. Anyway, Wally led his Altaria, and I led Flameboy. While the Altaria used Aerial Ace, Cotton Guard, and Safeguard, Flameboy set up 3 bulk ups. After, Flameboy took out the Altaria with 2 Rock Tombs, tanking 1 more Aerial Ace. Wally's Magneton was next, and the Blaze Kick left it with 1 HP because of Sturdy. The Magneton scored a Discharge, which almost killed Flameboy. With 13 HP, Flameboy took out the Magneton. At this point, I could have switched, but I was confident that Flameboy can sweep the rest of Wally's Pokémon. And I was right, as Flameboy Blaze kicked the Roselia and Delcatty, and Mega Blaze kicked the Mega Gallade, just in case it wasn't enough. All of them were one-shotted, putting on full display the incompetence of Wally. Trash. Keep your Dawnstone, man. Get this off me. Before challenging the league, I had to reset Fast Boy's EVs and train it purely on speed and physical attack because of his moveset. I most likely don't need to announce my team, but here they are anyway. Fastboy the Sceptile, Flameboy the Blaziken, and Bestboy the Swampert. For my past Generation 6 hardcore Nuzlocks, I've always banned Mega Evolutions, and I didn't really put a thought on why. On this run, I would realize how broken Mega Evolutions are. We began the Elite Four challenge. For Sydney, I let Flameboy, and Flameboy was all I needed. Flameboy Mega Evolved and absolutely decimated everyone. No one stood a chance, even with a lowered attack from Sydney's Mightyena. Look at the Sharpedo. Dead. Phoebe was next, and I decided to stay with Flameboy, who was taught Shadow Claw. Her Dusclops was first, and Flameboy tried to Mega Evolve Shadow Claw on the first turn. The Dusclops was too bulky and survived the hit. Flameboy was confused by a Confuse Ray after. On the next turn, I went for a Blaze Kick, but Flameboy was still too confused. He snapped out of the confusion after and scored a critical Blaze Kick, taking out the first Dusclops. Phoebe's Banette was next, and I took the turn to set up a Hoenn Claws. The Banette used Grudge, but Flameboy continued to stack Hoenn Claws. The Banette hit a Psychic, but it wasn't enough. I wasn't even worried. Next, Flameboy one-shotted the Banette with a Blaze Kick. Another Banette showed up, also taken down with a Blaze Kick. Phoebe's Sableye went out and flinched Flameboy with a Fake Out. No matter, it was taken care of with a Blaze Kick as well. Finally, Phoebe's Dusknoir was out, and Flameboy used Shadow Claw, which was able to take it out in one go. Glacia was next, and this was also a bit sad. Flameboy took charge again, and immediately Mega Evolved. Flameboy proceeded to set up 3 Hoenn Claws, and went on a rampage. Absolute annihilation. The last Elite Four member was next, Drake. For this battle, someone else from our team finally made their Pokemon League debut. I led with Fastboy, who gains a Dragon typing when Mega Evolved. Fastboy spent the first turn setting up a Hoenn Claws, tanking an Aerial Ace meanwhile. I wanted to set up another Hoenn Claws, but Fastboy most likely couldn't tank another hit, so he immediately Mega Evolved and hit a Dragon Claw, one-shotting the Altaria, and the Kingdra, and the Salamence, even with the Intimidate, and the Flygon, and the other Flygon. With this, all the Elite Four members are defeated, leaving us with only the champion left. Now, our 3 starter Pokemon don't exactly have the best chance against Steven, as most of Steven's Pokemon have a counter against our team. I honestly didn't really fancy my chances going into this battle, but I gave it a go anyway. We were already at the end. We confronted Steven at the champion room, where Steven was quite impressed by our accomplishments thus far. You're damn right it was impressive. You all push your problems on a 10-year-old. Steven wanted to see how far we've come and started the battle. Steven led his Skarmory, so I opened with Flameboy yet again. I didn't bother setting up because I'll be switching for his Aggron and immediately went for a Brick Break to take out the Skarmory's Sturdy. Flameboy got poisoned by Toxic and took out the Metal Bird with a Blaze Kick. Steven sent out his Aggron next, and I switched to Fastboy, who tanked an Earthquake. It took Fastboy 2 Brick Breaks, but the Aggron finally went down. Next, the champion sent out his Cradily, and I stayed with Fastboy, using another Brick Break. It didn't do too bad, but Fastboy got confused. On the next turn, I switched back to Flameboy, who tanked a Sludge Bomb on the switch-in. Flameboy used Brick Break and ended the Cradily. Flameboy was receiving significant poison damage, so I switched back to Fastboy when Steven sent out his Claydol. Fastboy tanked an Earth Power and used Leaf Blade, but failed to one-shot the Claydol. The ground Pokemon set up a Reflect and healed, but 2 Leaf Blades later, it was dead. Fastboy used a Brick Break on the Armaldo, breaking the Reflect. Unfortunately, the Armaldo used an X-Scissor, ending Fastboy's life. Rest well, Fastboy. I'll see you in the next life. I sent out Bestboy next, and ultimately decided to Mega Evolve it. Bestboy used Waterfall and took out the Armaldo. Finally, there was only Steven's Metagross left. The Metagross Mega Evolved as well, and scored a critical hit Zen Headbutt, of course. Bestboy used Earthquake, taking its health down to yellow. Steven healed, and another Earthquake did the same amount of damage. The Metagross scored a crit Giga Impact, and Bestboy couldn't take it. Bestboy joined Fastboy in heaven. Rest well, you two. Seeing what his comrades did, Flameboy went out for the final time and ended it with a Blaze Kick. With that, Flameboy finished the battle, making us the new champion of Hoenn. May caught up and wasn't allowed in the Hall of Fame, where we recorded our accomplishment. We saw the credits roll as Fool and May rode their bikes together back to Little Root Town. As the nostalgia ramped up and emotions welled up, the pair stopped at the pond back in Route 103, where May challenges for one final battle. Here, because we lost Best and Fastboy, we could only use Flameboy. May sent out her Swellow, and I immediately Mega Evolved Flameboy and set up a Bulk Up. Flameboy tanked an aerial ace, which did decent damage. I didn't want to risk losing here, so I went ahead and took out the Swallow with a Blaze Kick. Mei sent out her Macargo next, and it died quickly to a Brick Break. That was also the case with her Wailord, who fell to another Brick Break, and her Raichu, who suffered a similar fate. Last was her Sceptile, who managed to Mega Evolve as well. No matter, as Flameboy ended its life with a Blaze Kick. Now, the run is over for real. Mei took the loss well, and pondered upon her journey across Hoenn and what it meant to have grown as a person from the adventure. We watched the night sky and bore witness to the array of stars that streak across the sky. As we gazed deeper into the ever-expanding wonder of space, we turned to Mei, muttering the only thought that came to our mind. "Begone, thought.